Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well, staying healthy. If you're using this time at home to garden, to get your spring garden going, I would definitely recommend you plant, this one, this guy right here is looking good, that one. These are all pepper plants. They're going into our gardens now for the next few weeks, so you're not too late, and they grow super well in our gardens here in Houston, both in spring and through summer. They can even perennialize, last year round, if you give them a little bit of protection when it gets rather cold. But they're a very easy plant to take care of. There's only 3 things that you really need to worry about with them. The first is light. Peppers do want full sun, around 8 hours. For their maximum production. If you can't give them that, that's okay. Mine are in a little bit of shade. I'm not worried about them. Just know that you aren't going to get as much of a yield out of them, but in return you'll have plants that are less stressed out. They have just less summer sun beating down on them all day, so you won't have to worry too much. The second consideration when you're taking care of these guys is water. They're not very different from any other veggie plant. They want medium water. They can get a little bit dry at times, that's okay. And especially if you do end up giving them some shade, or if you're like me and you're planting in the ground, both of those things slow down evaporation, so you won't have to water as much. Now, if you do plant in full sun, and say you're in a container with super well draining potting soil, you will have to water more often. That's your call. One thing you want to watch out for is, at the end of the day, once the sun's off of them, if their leaves are still super wilty, obviously they're thirsty, go ahead and water them. And if that is happening multiple days in a row, that's a sign that they're drying out too quick, that they're stressed, that either you want to move them into a little bit of shade in the afternoon, or maybe mulch the container just to help keep that moisture in. Those are just things that you need to balance in your own garden. The third thing that you want to think about when you're growing these guys is fertilizer. They're pretty heavy feeders. They make a lot of peppers for you, so that takes a lot of nutrients out of the soil. So when you are growing peppers and you're on an organic schedule, it usually pays to fertilize a little bit more often. But yeah, super awesome pepper, plant, especially for beginners. Can't go wrong. Plant peppers.